Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Reese Talks Wrestling. This is our Friday Night Smackdown review. If you watched literally any of the first 40 minutes of last night's Friday Night Smackdown, you know it was a must-see. And the following Smackdowns and Raws, really any form of WWE content for the road to WrestleMania really is a must-see. With that being said, let's get right into it. The Rock and Roman segment. Let's talk about everything, and then I'll give you all my opinions on what I think is going to happen at the end based off of what they have given us in terms of the content to consume. So, first thing that we have is Roman comes out and he asks the crowd to acknowledge him. They're in Arizona, and he asks them to acknowledge him, and he gives them about 3 attempts, and he's getting ready to be like, okay, I'm done. Y'all weren't loud enough. I'm walking out. Fire up the Jets. I'm walking out. And Paul Heyman stops him and says, we can't leave because Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is coming. And then Paul would go on to hype up Dwayne and his entrance out to the ring. But Roman didn't look too happy. Roman didn't seem to like the fact that he had to wait on The Rock. And This is good because it's subtle moments like this. He didn't say anything. Sorry for a little stuffy nose. He didn't say anything in particular at all, really. He just looked. And Roman's facial expressions have been a storyteller for him throughout this entire reign, an entire run as the Tribal Chief. So Roman, you can tell in his face as Paul Heyman talks about The Rock being the biggest movie star. He seems irritated that his life is now somewhat hindered because of The Rock. Now, The Rock comes out and he cuts on his speech now that he goes, finally, your life has meaning. That's what he tells the Arizona crowd. That's what he tells the Arizona audience. And he responds to what Cody Rhodes said. Now, if you don't know that, yesterday, before SmackDown happened, The Rock cut a 21-minute promo on Instagram that he posted. I'm not for sure if he posted on any other social media platform. I know I saw it on Instagram. And it was just a 20-minute promo on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, which I reviewed last week ago, check out that video, at Elimination Chamber, called out The Rock to a one-on-one match. And The Rock responded to that one-on-one saying that no, Cody doesn't deserve to go one-on-one with the Great One. But what will happen is Cody and what Rock calls Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes' best friend, his little girlfriend, whatever he's calling Seth Rollins, he calls him out. He calls him and Seth out and says that at WrestleMania, a tag team match will happen, and this is big news. A tag team match will happen with The Rock and Roman Reigns, and he hypes up Roman Reigns a little bit, even though it doesn't. It kind of changed his expression on his face. He still kind of seemed not pissed off right now, but kind of annoyed, but fine with it because it's The Rock and because it's family. The Rock issues a challenge to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, a tag team match, Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth. And the winner of that match, if Cody were to win that match, the Bloodline will be banned from ringside. They will sign a contract. The Bloodline will be banned from ringside during Cody's Night 2 main event against Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. But if Cody Rhodes loses, if Rock and Roman are able to pick up the win, then that means that it's Bloodline rules. That means no disqualification. Bloodline can interfere. Rock says he's going to be at ringside next to Pat McAfee and be able to commentate. Maybe he might pull up a steel chair and beat Cody Rhodes. Honestly, this is perfect. This is perfect one because we already knew the Bloodline was going to interfere. So to have it already so where it doesn't cause a count out, the ref doesn't get, it's not the same old shtick all over again, that's perfect. But I also think that Cody Rhodes loses, which is why I said what I said earlier, 3-4 seconds earlier, that this is good because it makes the shtick not repetitive. Now the bloodline intervenes, but Cody has people he can intervene with, and now you can just have complete war of people trying to break up the Cody pin or the Roman pin. It sets up cinema. That's what it sets up. And The Rock, again, cutting his promo. He's going off on Cody Rhodes. If you watch the promo on IG, he says stuff about Cody's dog. Great promo by The Rock. He got Solo involved, all types of stuff. And Rock goes to end the promo by doing his normal finally. And no, my bad, I apologize. He goes to do his famous, if you smell. And Roman stops him, he grabs his arm. And you can tell the crowd, it completely changed the tone inside the ring. The crowd was chanting, holy, you know what? And The Rock slowly moved up. And you could feel the tension in the ring. You could feel it. You could feel the tension. And right there is all we need to give us any drop, any pinch of hype for Roman versus Rock at next year's WrestleMania. And the best part about this is that they're slowly building up to it. They're slowly building up. But back to what's going on inside the ring. Roman asked The Rock for one thing, and that's to acknowledge him. And Roman and Rock, they're both men of ego. They're both men of pride. They both are representing the heel-like character in the WWE, in sports entertainment, in wrestling, in pro wrestling. So, The Rock and Roman, they're staring eye to eye, and slowly, very slowly, The Rock tells Roman, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief. But just that entire moment, even after they have the handshake, The Rock puts up the one, but he puts up an L, almost as if it was intentional. Because last time he did it the whole time as a mistake. Or at least we thought. But this time, he put up the one, switch it to an L. There's a picture, if I can get it. There's a picture of Paul Heyman looking at him. Whew. It's a lot. I'm getting a little stuffy nose here. I'm sorry, y'all. Run the eyes. This is what I predict. This is what I predict that. I don't think Rock turns on Roman at WrestleMania. And it's because of one thing that Rock said during his promo that I haven't talked about yet. The Rock called out Cody. He called out Seth Rollins. But he also spoke on his position, his authority inside the WWE. As you know, The Rock is a board member on TKO, the company that brought WWE and merged it with UFC. The Rock being a board member there, he was talking about how he's Seth Rollins' boss. He's Cody's boss. He is the boss. The Rock is the boss, as he said. And he said he doesn't care about a vice president and said Triple H's name. That sets up this entire year and, of course, then some. Triple H versus The Rock. The authority. Triple H is obviously Triple H. Cannot wrestle because of his surgery. Triple H and his face authority versus the bloodline and their people. It's perfect. And it sets it up. And this way, if you have Triple H's authority feuding with the bloodline after Mania, what you can have happen, and this is my fantasy booking, is Cody wins at Mania. Cody wins at Mania. And from that point on, The Rock looks at Roman a little differently. But then you just get the bloodline hijacked. Because maybe one of Cody's people is the reason why he wins. Now the bloodline is hijacking shows. They're hijacking Raw. They're hijacking SmackDown. They're doing it in almost NWO style of the Bloodline is just taking over, asserting their authority because they can. That involves The Rock, that involves Roman, that involves Solo, that involves the other Jimmy. Depending on who wins Jimmy and Jay's match, we could have both of them or they're split still. There's more people joining in. We have Jacob Fatu, who's debatably getting a contract. We have Ava, who's getting trained, The Rock's daughter, to become a SmackDown general manager. We have the Bloodline having positions in authority. And Triple H doesn't like it. And now you have this long feud of Triple H and The Rock coming back. You have The Rock and Roman Reigns getting built up because as they're hijacking these shows, they realize that they don't have any gold. They're asserting their authority with no belts, with no true power, besides The Rock and maybe Ava. And now the pressure is on Roman to get a title. It's on all the members of the Bloodline to get a title. And it's perfect. It's cinema. You're able to do a lot with this. And as Triple H and as the Bloodline are feuding, you're able to show the cracks being made, like how the Bloodline originally did for the first 3 years, but this time just a little bit faster because obviously WrestleMania will be, even though it doesn't feel like it after this one ends, it'll be around the corner. It'll be there in no time. Time flies. And Roman Reigns and The Rock are two men full of egos. So you have all this building up. That's my fantasy booking. And then you're able to build Roman versus The Rock up. Eventually the Bloodline collapses due to egos. They fall apart due to egos. This time, not with the Usos and Roman. This time with The Rock and Roman. There's so much they can do. And it feels good, but The Rock said last night, it feels good to be a pro wrestling fan. It does. Pro wrestling feels cool again. It wasn't cool during the pandemic era. I try to forget that. But pro wrestling feels cool again. Let's continue the review of all of SmackDown, should we? Dakota Kai finally betrayed Bayley. We all expected it. The only thing I have about this, the only question I have about this is how is Bayley gonna win against Io Sky? Like, is she gonna have friends? Pull up, does she have like this group that we know? Because it's gonna be 3-on-1. Unless you're gonna make Bayley that over. I'm all for it. Pushing Bayley that hard to the point where she clutches up a 3v1 assault with people cheating and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just confused on how she's gonna win that Mania with everybody against her. I expected this to happen, of course, but now the question finally dawns upon me. But that's besides the point. All props to Bayley. She deserves it. She deserves everything that she's getting. And honestly, Damage Control is doing a good job playing a heel and making sure that we don't like them. They've done a great job as that. And I don't know how Bayley. That's the good part about it though, is that I don't know how she. I expect her to win. It would be very surprising if she didn't win. If she doesn't win at WrestleMania, but nevertheless, let's keep going. Rey Mysterio, Carlito beats Santos Escobar finally. Because of Rey Mysterio's return. Rey Mysterio's back. Honestly, I love the heel work. I love the heel work that's going on with Santos Escobar. How does he? Right now, Santos needs a face. Needs a new generation. Rey Mysterio needs a Latino luchador baby face to rival his heel essence. That would be perfect. I don't know who it could possibly be. Clearly, LWM needs a young leader, but I just don't see any of the males in that group, which I would assume it would be a male going against Santos Escobar. Taking that position, taking that Rey Mysterio-like role. Finally, really, there was a good RKO spot by Randy Orton, and LA Knight and AJ Styles, they were searching for. It's just a lot going on SmackDown. LA Knight and AJ Styles probably gonna face each other at Mania. I don't know what they're gonna do with the U.S. Championship. Oh, Randy Orton, but Logan Paul wasn't there last night. I can definitely sense Grayson Waller betrayal and Austin Theory. I think he was supposed to face Randy Orton, but he didn't. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this SmackDown. It was a great SmackDown in terms of the content that it brought us. Dakota Kai, the Bloodline, The Rock calling out Triple H. It's talked. We got more in the LWO with Santos Escobar and them. Now we just need Santos Escobar to have a great luchador hero that isn't named Rey Mysterio, and that's a lot younger. We already talked about Bayley and Damage Control. If Logan Paul was there, it would have been dang near perfect. LA Knight looking for AJ Styles, and Nick Aldis, the manager, said he told AJ Styles not to be there. That's going to be an interesting feud. LA Knight, AJ Styles, Nick Aldis, them all. This authority power that's dynamic that's going on in WWE right now is amazing. And honestly, I hope it stays. This has been Reese Talks Wrestling. Let me know what y'all thought about last night's Friday Night Smackdown, and let me know what y'all plan on happening for WrestleMania, the match card that y'all have laid out. Give me y'all match cards for WrestleMania, WrestleMania 40 down below. I'll see you on the next video. Y'all stay tuned.